Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Sunday, June 15th, 2025. And today's Father's Day. I literally just tried calling my father. So if my father called, he did not answer his phone. I tried to call my dad. So if my dad calls me back, I will have to put the stream on hold and take that phone call from my dad. But welcome back today. My name is Addy, as always. And let's I'm thinking we have to jump right into it, but boy, I needed to pee before I started this stream. I'll be right back. Oh God, I'm muted. Okay, but anyway, but see, I screw everything up. Everything, like whenever I start a stream, I always screw everything up. But I was taking this nap, and when I take these naps, I don't actually fall asleep. Right? Like I'm in this weird state of where like I will dream, but I'm still awake. So I had put some video on. For some reason, I've been on like this kick. Oh, geez. If my dad calls, I need to take it. Because I tried calling my dad before the stream started. He didn't answer, and it is. Oh, all right. Let me take this call from my dad. No, I missed the call. Let me call him back. Today's Father's Day, so that's why I'm calling him. All right, boys. Oh, sorry about that. Dad called. It's Father's Day. Had to take that call. I don't know why this music keeps going in and out, and I don't know if it's the video. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the YouTube video or if it is something else. Let's just go ahead and play this. But yeah, no, had to talk to my dad, and I am expecting a call from my daughter. She better, if she wants to be in the will, she will call me, and if she wants to be partially in the will, she'll send me a text message. Like if she sends me a text message, she's like 25% in the will, like 25%. I will literally well, as it is now, like I don't have a will yet. I have to write one up. But so legally what would happen, everything goes to my wife. But in a will, what I would like to do ideally is like I don't have a lot, but I have something, right? Like I have some stuff. Like I own 2 homes. One's mostly paid off. The other one's like half paid off. So, and then I have like a nice insurance policy. I have some savings. I have some crypto. I have a 401k. So I have something to show for my life, at least monetarily. So if I go, it's not as though people are going to be like, there'll be a little to go around, right? It's not like, oh, dad died, I can retire money, but it's, dad died, maybe I can pay off a house money, kind of like it's a nice little nest egg. But like it depends. Like my daughter, I don't know what I've done. I don't know. I know children. I drew the chart the other day how children, they kind of go through. If you weren't here, I don't know if you were here for that chart. I'm going to draw the chart again. But it basically is, let me get my favorite tool out. But basically the chart is, it shows like how much children need their parents, right? So if you have age here, right? Age, and then, age. And then the Y scale is need, where like, 0 and then maybe 100, meaning you need them in order to survive. Like, or not in order to survive, but how much you need your parents, kind of like it kind of goes like this, right? Like, because when you're born, you absolutely need them. And then as you get older, it ages. And then maybe when you hit your when you hit like 18, 19, 20, depending, and then you don't really need them a lot, right? But then as you get older, things start to come up. Now, you never get back to this level, right? Unless, of course, there's some accident or something like that. But I think the older you get, you definitely, and unfortunately, it probably would continue to get more and more, but unfortunately, people get older and things happen. So it's like in my mind, like where I'm at, I feel like in my life right now, where I'm at personally, I'm like somewhere around here, right? Like I definitely feel this need to kind of connect with my parents more now than I did, say, 10 years ago, like when I was 40, right? Like when I was 40, I was maybe like right around here. I was like, they're annoying. But then you get older and you're like, well, like, because I'm very blessed. I understand that because I'm 50 years old and I still have both my parents. I still had a grandparent until last year. My last grandparent passed away last year when my grandmother died. So like I had 2 parents and a grandmother until I was 49. So that is very lucky. And so I'm 50 and I still have both my parents. Very fortunate. And so I guess at some point I kind of, you kind of recognize, well, shit, your parents aren't going to be around forever. And so you kind of, this starts to go up a little bit. I feel like my daughter is like, well, this line should actually it should be a little more like this, I feel like my daughter's like around here, right? Or like around here. And I'm like, okay, all right. You've got until you're about 45 or 50 to start making this right. So, but she normally does call me on Father's Day. She normally calls me on my birthday. Christmas, I usually call her. I don't know. Adult children are tricky. It's like, adult children are tricky because before I got married, I dated a few single moms in my day, and I one common theme with a couple of the single moms that I dated, one common theme was kind of that they were really, I don't want to say that they were dependent on their children, but in attached, like if I say they were really attached to their children, you're going to be like, well, of course they were attached. They were their mom. She was their mom. Of course she was attached to her children, which like, yes, that's true. But I feel that some women, I've also dated a couple of single moms that had a healthy detachment from their children, right? Like they have a healthy attachment and a healthy detachment. Like, and not that they were detached from their children, but they had a healthy, like, spacer, like a healthy, I don't know how to explain it, but there were some single moms where I would tell them, because like I always had my daughter, and my daughter was always much older. I would date like a woman who was like the same age as me, who might have like 2 kids. The 2 kids might be like 8 and 10, and my daughter is like 23. So it's world of difference. And I would always tell these women, I'm like, because these women, I think what happens is the women get very accustomed to the children needing them, and they kind of like it, which there's some, I can see why you might like that, right? Like this, you're responsible for this living thing and this thing, like, but they get very used to the children needing them, and then the woman gets very attached to that feeling of being needed by the child. And I would always tell them, like, look, one day your children, they're going to grow up and they're not going to need you. Like, they're not going to need you. Like, one day they're going to have their own life. They're going to be out in the world on their own, and they're not going to need you anymore. And that's going to be really rough for you unless you create some separation now. So I don't know. Not sure says, take your time. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. And if you are a father, you're not, I don't think you are a dad. Not sure. Happy Father's Day to you anyway, and to you too, Matthew. Not sure says, your job as a parent is to make your children self-sufficient. Yeah, and like that's kind of like, I feel it's bittersweet, because like my daughter, she's extremely self-sufficient, and so it's like she doesn't need me anymore. And it's kind of like I get where these and this is another thing that we're like, what I'm telling these women, it's not something I'm making up, right? It's like something I understand. Mind you, I may not understand it on as deep or a primal level as a woman would, just by virtue of a woman having carried the child. Like, I understand that that's something I'll never be able to relate to. But of course, fathers will still have an attachment to their children. So I get it. I get the comfort that comes in the child needing you. But I don't know. But it's like, it's a little sad, because it's like, I kind of wish my daughter needed me more. But of course, if she needed me more, she wouldn't be as self-sufficient, which means that I probably was deficient in something I did raising her as a child. So there's like that counterbalance to it. But I swear, but if she, I don't know. Like I have a, I don't want to say I have a strained relationship with my daughter. I don't have a strained relationship. I don't know. I just wish she, I don't know. I remember being, she's 31. She's going to be 32 in next month. She'll be 32. And I remember being 32. And I don't know that I was close to my parents. And I kind of wish I was closer to my daughter. But it's difficult. And so, like, I talk to her and I'm just like, well, how are you? And like, how are things? And, everything's always fine. And I get it. I don't know. I feel like I could almost, I don't know. I'm going to stop before I say something I regret. Not sure. Being a parent gives people purpose. It does. And then when that's actually a really good way of putting it, is like, I think women, not women in general, but like women that I've met, there definitely have been women, and maybe this happens to dads too, but I haven't met any, but they become kind of addicted to that purpose. And then it's like, well, that purpose is going to go away one day. So you need to find some other purpose. Your job now is to help them find a partner so you can be a grandparent. She has a partner. My daughter has a partner. I'm waiting for grandparent. I'm waiting for kids. They just bought a house up in Maine. they have moved because of her partner's job. They're just going from place to place to place to place to place to place to place. But now they finally settled up in Portland, Maine. They just bought a house right in downtown Maine, and I've always wanted. I love Maine. I love Maine. So if there are going to be grandkids coming soon, I've told my wife, like, I would like to relocate up there when grandchildren start coming into the picture. Like, my wife's family's all in Thailand. Now, my dad and my mom are here, but I could see myself going up to Maine to kind of want to be a bigger part of any grandchildren, to be a bigger part of their lives. I could see myself doing that. And then I don't know. It's I don't know, man. This turning 50 has just really messed with my head. But I was talking to my dad, and I was telling him, because he was asking me when I'm traveling, and I was telling him that I was going to St. Helena. And he said, well, wait, wasn't Napoleon exiled there? And I was like, maybe? And so that's why I looked this up. And it turns out, so Napoleon was exiled twice, which I did not. And actually, if you have not seen the Napoleon movie with, why do I want to say Keith or Sutherland? I know that's not him. It's the guy to play the Joker. Oh my God, don't tell me. Okay, no, wait. Okay. All right, in the chat, don't tell me his name. Tell me the first letter of his first name. What is his name? Okay. The guy who starred in the Joker and was also in a Napoleon movie. Do not tell me his name. Tell me the first letter H. What? No. Wait, tell me the first letter of his first name. Only tell me that. J. Okay, so Jesus Christ. J. What the hell was his name? Okay. Tell me the first letter of his last name. And only that. P. Oh my God. It's not Jared Leto. P. It's not Jared Leto. Okay. Tell me the second letter of his first. I can't remember it. Grok's thinking about it. Oh my God. This is going to drive me nuts. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix. Yes. I am not. I'm fighting off that early onset dementia still. Yes, Joaquin Phoenix. Okay. I'm not sure why not sure was thinking H or W. Joaquin. Oh, were you trying to spell out Joaquin? Joaquin. You know what? Actually, that reminds me. So I've been trying to think of kind of bringing things back around to the game. I want to come up with names for the characters, and we have some preliminary, or not preliminary, but some working titles, kind of working names. And Mrs. Razman suggested the name Juanito for the green guy, and I love that name. So I think Juanito will definitely be the name of the green guy. Okay, so yeah, so like I was saying before my dad called, I woke up. I was taking a sort of nap, a non-nap nap. Where do you do these naps? I when I take a nap, I don't fall asleep. It's more, I equate it more to a really deep meditation, and where I'm still aware of the time, I'm still aware of time progressing. I'm still aware, I still hear everything, and I'm still processing it somewhat, but I'm just kind of not thinking, and sometimes I'll even dream. I'll have dreams, but I'm still awake. I don't know how that works. It is nearly impossible for me to fall asleep excuse me, it is nearly impossible for me to fall asleep without when I'm napping. It like to actually like lose consciousness, like to completely become unaware. Like I can't do that. Like I don't know why. But I was on the couch. My wife is sick, and I'm like, I'm trying to politely distance myself from her because she's sick, and I leave on Thursday, and like she's coughing and like she doesn't feel well. And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, please. But so far I feel fine, and I'm trying to tell myself like, okay, if she was contagious, I would have already have gotten it. I probably would have gotten it like the same day she brought it home, in which case I would be symptomatic by now, and I'm not. So I'm just like, please do not let me. I please no. I have to leave on Thursday. And then I did something today, like, because I did I'm 50, I'm going to do this kind of thing, because you save money, right? You save money to use. You put money aside for certain things, for occasions, for things. So I've been really paranoid about this trip to, not paranoid, but I've been really anxious about riding in economy class for 15 hours for this flight from Dulles Airport to Cape Town. And I said, you know what? I've been saving money. I'm 50 years old. Maybe it's okay to enjoy the money every now and then. Maybe it's okay to enjoy it. So I don't want my wife to hear I paid full price for our upgrade, because they had two business class seats left. Because I looked and they had 2 business class seats left. I'm like, fuck, they're going to sell out a business class and I'm not going to be able to get that. I was like, okay, I'm doing it. So I went ahead. This is why you save money kind of moment, right? Granted, I travel a lot, and you could kind of be like, well, that's why I save money. But I'm like, no. The traveling would happen even if I was broke. I would just go into credit card debt. Like, the traveling would happen. This was like a kind of a, I don't know. It was kind of the first time that I had kind of really $2K upgrade. I wish it was 2,000. No. I'm going to do some math off screen. Let me do some math off screen. I paid, like, there are sometimes it's okay. Like, for me, like, I will say it's okay. Like, pay for comfort. Like, as long as it's not outrageous, pay, it's worth it for me to pay to be comfortable. And today I decided that it was worth to pay over $400 an hour to be comfortable. It was an expensive upgrade. Let's say Not Sure says Walk the Line, and Walk the Line was another Joaquin Phoenix movie. I like Joaquin Phoenix. I did not see the Joker 2, but from what I understand, the Joker 2 is not worth seeing, so I don't think I'll see it. I don't know how to spell Joaquin. Who does know? I don't know that Joaquin knows how to spell Joaquin. I take 10 to 15 minute naps. I sometimes do that, but I generally take 30 to 45 minute naps. You're in a deep relaxation state, not really sleep. Yeah, it's not sleep, but it's still restful, right? Like, I'll wake up from these naps feeling re-energized, feeling, reinvigorated. But my wife, like, she's one of these people, like, at night, we'll be talking, or she'll be on her iPad, I'll be on my iPad, and then we do this thing where, like, because she's on her side of the bed, I'm on my side of the bed, and then like, before, like, when she's ready to get off her iPad, she'll be like, okay, let's cuddle. And so, like, she'll cuddle, she'll put her head here, and I'm still on my iPad, so I just kind of, like, swiping through my iPad while we're kind of cuddling, and I swear to God, it no more than a minute, 1 to 2 minutes max, when she's cuddling, I'll start hearing the sleep breathing. The breathing will change, and it will be sleep breathing. And I'm like, motherfucker. This woman falls asleep. But then again, my last girlfriend was the same way. Like, 1 to 2 minutes asleep. Who was the girlfriend before her? Girlfriend before her, I don't remember. It's too old. Too far to think back. But just these people that fall asleep like that, I don't get it. Joker 2 sucked. Nothing happened. Yeah, you ever see this guy? The what is the channel? Pitch Meeting. That's what it is. You ever see the Pitch Meeting guy? Pitch Meeting. You ever see this guy Joker? I think the Pitch Meeting channel is really funny. Is my dog in here? I thought he was in here. Yeah.
So, you have a Joker sequel for me? Yes, sir. Contrary to the perfectly self-contained nature of the first movie and solely for financial reasons, I do. Money!
Yeah, and so this one's going to be called Joker Folie à deux.
What?
Folie à deux.
What?
Anyway, all right. I won't play this. I'm not going to do like a reaction to this or anything. But yeah, the Pitch Meeting. This guy, he said, was basically like it's mostly like a trial, like a courtroom drama movie, and yeah. Are you going to Cape Town or Johannesburg? I am going to both. I go from Dulles to Cape Town, and then I'll be in Cape Town for a week. I'm staying at the Airbnb that I really like, that kind of swanky Airbnb that I think I showed you guys because I'm like, I'm a fan of the humble brag. But the one, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I still have to, there's still parts of it that I have to book. Oh, I got to use my Naughty Boy browser for this. Yeah, here. You can see there in 5 days. But yeah, so I'll be in Cape Town for about a week staying at this, such a nice apartment. Just this beautiful view, this ocean view from like all across the apartment. These windows, they open out and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. You can like open the windows and hear the waves crashing. Oh, so nice. It's so nice. But so I'll be there for a week, and then I go to Jamestown for a week. But you notice these dates where it's June 20th to 27th, and then this next apartment is June 28th. So, an astute viewer might be thinking, well, Addy, where will you stay June 27th? The night of June 27th, where will you stay? Heavens me, I'm worried because people worry about me, right? So the 27th, I fly to Johannesburg. I'll stay in Johannesburg for one night. And then the next day I fly out to Jamestown. And then when I get back on July 5th, I'm going to do something similar. I still have to book it, but I'm going to fly from Johannesburg to Lusaka. How do I wait? You can say Lusaka. Lusaka. That's it. Lusaka. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I just like saying Lusaka. So Lusaka, the capital is Zambia. I'll be there, and then so I'm going to be in Johannesburg for 3 nights. And now that I'm thinking about it, so between Cape Town and Jamestown one night, between Jamestown and Lusaka one night, and then between Lusaka and Bolivia one night. Because I'm going to come back from Zambia, stay in Johannesburg, the next day fly from Johannesburg to Sao Paulo, Brazil, stay in Brazil for one night, and then fly from Sao Paulo to La Paz. And you can see I have my favorite apartment. This is the apartment that I love staying at. He really needs to update the furniture, but it's a nice location. I know this apartment well. I know the owner well. I've stayed there at least 5-6 times. So anyway, but yeah, okay, boys. All right. Now you got me all distracted. You got me talking about traveling. I need to figure out, let me see. Lusaka, Zambia. What was it? It was like roughly from July 6th. I think I need it to July 13th because the 13th I would come back to Johannesburg, and then the 14th I fly out. I was doing a little bit of research on Lusaka. But it looks like it's very spread out. And then I was like looking like, okay, well, I don't want to rent a car because cops are corrupt, and they're going to see a white guy, so they're going to be like, let's pull him over, or let's do a traffic stop and bribe him. I don't know if they would do that in Zambia, but it's not like I haven't been bribed, or not. It's not like I've had to. It's not like I haven't been in positions in Africa before, because like whatever. But so I'm like trying to find something in Lusaka that is like near a grocery store so that I can walk to a grocery store. But it's difficult. It seems like I don't know. Something that is near a grocery store that's in walking distance, that's in a nice neighborhood. I don't know, but we'll figure that out another night. I'm not going to bore you guys with my travel plans. I feel like I should do I should do a stream on my other channel. That's basically me talking about travel and planning my travel. Actually, it's not a terrible idea. I don't hate that idea. That does remind me, though. I do have to do something. I have another video coming out on my travel channel, and I uploaded it, and I wanted to see if it had any copyright or anything like that. Not Sure says that would be a good idea. Audience engagement. You think so? And like that channel is actually monetized. So like if I could, like that's all I'm saying. Like that channel is monetized. Like I could do super chats in that channel. Like that's one reason that I kind of want to do this stream on that channel. But it's good to keep the two channels separated. People who are like, anybody who's watching my travel channel to watch me travel, they're not interested in seeing game development. So. Are there any restrictions on this? It doesn't look like it. Ad suitability, no issues found. There's no creator music license activated. You're okay. So, okay, good. All right, so let me just set this. I'll set it to members. Actually, let me do this. Members only to public. What's today? I will have this go public. No. We'll have it go public on Tuesday at noon. No. 24 hours. So I'll have it go public tomorrow at 4:30. How's that? 4:30 p.m. 4:30. Perfect schedule. It would be good to teach people how to travel, especially on a budget. I do think that like I should, like the guy who edits my videos, he was telling me that like I should do some like tips for traveling, like things like for example, like I always pack tape, like not duct tape though. I've debated sometimes taking duct tape, but like at least like invisible tape. Trash bags, because you do not know how many times I have been in a hotel room where they have just a little can like that, and if you're in a hotel room for 3 nights, a little can like it's annoying. Like especially like you order pizza and then no, or you go to an Airbnb and there's no trash bags like that. Like a lot of Airbnb hosts are just like, nope, you're on your own for trash bags. So tape, trash bags. Another thing that I always travel with, a little bit of rope. And you do not know how many times that like you want to like tie back a curtain, or you kind of want to have a light pointing in a certain direction, or we want to just like you want to mount, you want to have something attached somewhere. Like rope comes in handy quite a lot. Is there anything else that's like kind of odd? A utility knife, or like I have like one of those one of those Leatherman knives, but I don't think that's so weird. That's kind of common sense. And yeah. Not Sure says, bro, are you a serial killer? Yes, I'm traveling around with duct. No, I purposely, I was afraid that duct tape might throw some, might trigger some alarms when going through customs, right? Like, I've never had my bag searched, knock on wood, but not that I carry anything that would, but still knock on wood. But I did think that like, duct tape, knife, rope, duct tape, trash bags. All right, point taken. Yeah, Shavir says, what game is this? We haven't even gotten to the game yet. We got to get to the game. Yeah, we'll talk about the game. You know what, Yashavir, we're just kind of chilling. You know, once again, my wife said she was going to come up here. I'm that woman always telling me I'm going to come up. I'm going to come up. Like, okay, and then she never comes up. I think it's because Yashvir is here. Yashvir just ruins everything. Okay. Oh, but this was the other thing I'm going to look at before we get started. So my father, when I was talking to my father, he mentioned, I just thought of something. If my daughter doesn't call me today, it's going to be a conscious decision because she's not the only one in her house with a father. She should stream with you. Make it a couple activity. Yeah, I've told my wife. So my wife is Thai. I've told her that like she should do like one thing I thought she should do is like I was into just like sometimes the music that I listen to is a little like off kilter. And I was like, you know, you should do like reaction videos. Like I thought it would be funny if she did like reaction videos, like in Thai, like to a Thai audience. But she's shy. She doesn't want to. Yashvir says, can I join you? Yes. Yashvir, you can call me Yash. Yash. Okay, you got it, Yash. No, but when I was talking to my dad, he mentioned that he was like, wait, wasn't Napoleon exiled in St. Helena? And that's why I looked it up, and he was. And I wanted to look up if there is there a museum or something in St. Helena related to Napoleon. So I would think so if he was exiled there. Yes, there are definitely sites Yes, there are definitely sites in a museum on St. Helena related to Napoleon Bonaparte's exile. The Longwood House, where he lived during his exile, has been preserved and is a museum. Additionally, Barrières Pavilion, where he initially resided, is also a site to visit. There's also Napoleon's tomb in Garniam Valley. Wait, was he buried there? Wait, is that where he... Really? Wait, Napoleon Bonaparte wiki. Did he die there? Longwood has a okay, so this is just a portion of St. Helena. Napoleon. Longwood was the location of Napoleon's second exile from 1815 until his death in 1821. The French government, via the blah, 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 owns Barrières Pavilion, Napoleon's initial exile residence, Longwood House, and its properties where he lived during most of his time on the island, and his original grave. But United Kingdom retains sovereignty over the properties. Napoleon's main physician wrote letters, described... Wow. I didn't realize he was initially buried there. Huh. I'm going to have to check that out. Look up Napoleon toxic wallpaper. Napoleon toxic wallpaper. Was Napoleon killed by wallpaper? Oh. You know, but back then they didn't know it. And like, you know, this was an era where like people smoked and they ate lead and like, yeah. Ever since defeated, the Napoleon movie with the Napoleon movie with Joaquin Phoenix actually wasn't bad. It was actually it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. I watched it on some flight, but I enjoyed it. Why would you search about Napoleon? Because I am going to the small island of St. Helena, and my father mentioned that was where Napoleon was exiled, which I did not realize. And so while I am in St. Helena, I could possibly visit some part of, I could see something related to Napoleon. June, July, average daily mean 60. Okay, that's good. There's not a lot of temperature fluctuation there. The record high for June is 82 degrees. Okay, good. So it's not going to be that hot. Not Sure says they used arsenic to color the wallpaper. Oh, wait, let's see. Surely his death is mentioned. Exile, religion, personality. Exile. Okay, death. Napoleon's health continued to worsen, and in March 1821, he was confined to bed. In April, he wrote 2 wills declaring that he'd been assassinated by the English oligarchy, that the Bourbons would fall, and that his son would rule France. He left his fortune to 97 legatees, and asked to be buried by the Seine. On the 3rd of March, he was given his last rites but could not take communion due to his illness. He died on the 5th of May, 1821 at the age of 51. Fuck, he was young. Wow. His last words, variously recorded by those present, were either France, l'armée, tête d'armée, Josephine. France, the army, head of the army, Josephine. Or, qui recule à la tête des armes, who retreats at the head of the army, or France, my son, the army. Let's see. The British wrote there were 2 separate autopsy reports, each concluding that Napoleon had died of internal bleeding caused by stomach cancer, the disease that killed his father. The later theory, based on high concentrations of arsenic found in samples of Napoleon's hair, held Napoleon had died of arsenic poisoning. However, subsequent studies also found high concentrations of arsenic in hair samples in Napoleon's childhood and from his son and Josephine. Arsenic was widely used in medicines and products such as hair creams in the 19th century. A 2021 study by an international team of gastrointestinal pathologists once again concluded that Napoleon had died of stomach cancer. Wow. Okay. Yash says, are you in St. Helena? No, I'm going to St. Helena. I will be in St. Helena in about 2 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, somewhere. By the end of the month. At the end of the month, I'll be in St. Helena. Wow, that's interesting though. I didn't realize he was in St. Helena. Like I maybe part of me. Oh, this is the Longwood House. Wow, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at this tiny little island in the middle of the Pacific. No, the middle of the Atlantic. I should at least learn where it's at. Where is it? Somewhere around here? Yeah, there it is. St. Helena. Though there's this other one that I would love to go to, the Edinburgh's of the Seven Seas. This is kind of a famous one because they do have Amazon there, but it can take up to 9 months to get there. But you can order Amazon. And actually, I was talking to a buddy at work he's basically a network engineer. Like he, configures servers and does all of that stuff like that racks servers and configures them, sets them up, and blah blah blah. Does all this stuff I don't want to do. And he told me about 3 years ago he got a job offer to basically do network administration for a year in Antarctica. And I was like, what? And I'm like, and you didn't go? Like, he would have wintered over at the South Pole and I would to punch him for not going. Like, that would have been, that has been a dream of mine. Like, literally for like 20 years. Well, like, long ago, I used to like go to, I forget the name of the company, but I would go to the company's website and because why do you think they need C++ programmers at the South Pole? No, they don't. But I would apply for cafeteria assistant, trash assistant, just anything to see if I could get a job to winter over in Antarctica. Like, that would be fucking amazing. And of course, I didn't qualify for anything they needed. So I don't know. Not Sure says, I'll be in Italy next month. Sweet. Where in Italy? What part? What for? Yash says, nice, man. I hope you will enjoy your journey. I hope I will too. Thank you, Yash. Not Sure says Antarctica makes people go crazy. I know a Cisco engineer that went to Antarctica. I just realized I didn't configure the chat. So let me put the chat into the... let me put chat into OBS, hopefully. Why didn't you guys tell me that? You guys are like, Matt... And then Matthew sent a message saying I was on mute, and he hasn't said anything since. So that's a little sus, as the kids say. Sus. All right, let me go ahead and put this here. There we go. All right, the chat should be showing now. I'm going to Tuscany. My family lives there. Oh, you're an Italian. You're one of those, huh? One of those. All right, whatever. Whatever. I mean, how do I ban somebody? I got to ban Not Sure from the chat now that he's Italian. Now that he knows Italian, I got to ban. No. Matthew is probably being productive. Probably. Let's see what the weather's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be, so tomorrow looks like it's going to be pretty much a copycat of today. And then Cape Town. And then I will arrive on Cape Town Friday. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Oh, look at that. High 61, low 55. Oh, beautiful. Yash asks, would ever come to India? I've been to India. I was in Bangalore back in was that last year, 2024? Let me look. I don't remember if that was last year or I got to look. It's winter in South Africa, right? Yes, it is winter in South Africa. So if you go to my travel page, Addy Goes Places, you will see where, here it is. Yes, I was in Bangalore 2024. You can see the Bangalore, I will copy and paste the Bangalore playlist of videos into the chat so that, yeah. I'll say the food in India, the food was so good. The food was so good. I liked India. It was a little disappointing in some ways because it was very dirty. There's litter everywhere. Of course, there's that meme, that meme where people play a game where like, okay, let's find a Google Street View in India that doesn't have litter, which is kind of mean, but it's also kind of true. And so it's sad, but the food, oh my God, so people were like, so I work with a lot of Indians, and they would all tell me like, yeah, you're going to get sick. Like, yeah, sorry. Like, that's just, you don't go to, you're not actually in India until you get sick. So I went from where I live in Washington, D.C., the Washington, D.C. area, to India, and then to Finland for like a month. Or I was like there for 2 months, I think. About a month and a half. But I was in India for 2 weeks. Perfectly fine. No problems. Then I go to Finland. I go from India to Finland. It wasn't until I got to Finland that I had the shits. When I was in India, no problems. And I was eating street food. Like, people were telling me, like, you shouldn't eat the street food. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to eat it. Like, if I see a line for street food of a bunch of locals trying to waiting, I'm going to eat it, right? Like, if it's just some like homeless guy that's just like, hey man, you want to eat this? Okay, I'm not going to eat that. But if it's like some popular thing, then I'm going to eat it. And I didn't get sick. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I didn't get sick once in India. Let's see. I'm hoping to go to Rome with my friend next year, Matthew says. Rome? I've never been to Italy. Yash says, yeah, I accept it. Okay. Not sure. Matthew, we stayed at the Sonder Hotel in Rome last year. Great location, walking distance at most. I stayed at a Sonder in Montreal. Not sure. Addy, you should bring probiotics with you. Nah, I'll be all right. Yash, bro, don't eat street food. I ate the street food. On one of these videos, I eat the street food. I don't remember which one it is. Was it this one? That's not street food. That was a burger joint. But there was one of these videos where I was eating the street food, and I was fine. I was fine. Like, nothing happened. Matthew, yeah, my friend stayed right next to Central Station, fairly close to most sites. I'd like to go to Italy one day, but I'm afraid it's too hot. Even in the winter, it's going to be hot, isn't it? Let's look it up. Tuscany. Yash says it's very unhygienic. Nah. Okay, Tuscany's not that bad. 66 degrees. I don't understand why there's like a different... that's weird. Let's look at Rome. Rome, Italy. Oof. Well, it's summer. So I can't fault Rome for being warm and summer. I do see, 94, 96. It's too hot. It's too hot. I mean, like, but again, it's summer. What is the... So my wife has a friend, a Thai friend, who, it's funny. When I started dating my wife, her and a bunch of her friends, they did this thing every year. They haven't done it in a couple of years, but they did this thing where every year they would rent this cabin, like way out in like West Virginia. And basically it was a bunch of Thai women, and they would go to this cabin and they would all bring a bunch of food, and they would just cook traditional Thai food and eat all weekend long. And it's kind of amazing how like these Asian women are very petite and very tiny, and they can eat. They will eat. I can only assume that their BMs are huge because I don't know where it goes. But we go to this cabin, and it's like 7 or 8, maybe, yeah, between 7, 8, 9, less than 10, but about 7, 8, 9 Thai women, all with their partners, all white men. Literally every Thai woman had a husband or a boyfriend that was a white dude. So it was unreal. Did I start this? Okay. All right. Let's talk about the game. Let's do a little program. I want to know where my wife is. Matthew, yep, that's exactly where I was. The station was closed last year. It's a huge construction project right now. And Yash is laughing, probably at the Thai women with white dudes. That's all it was. It was like complete, just like Thai women, white guys. I got so drunk on that trip. It was amazing. It was nice. It was a nice weekend. That was back when I met my wife. I was a drinker. Oh, I was a drinker. And then COVID happened, and I think everybody became a drinker during COVID. I mean, I was getting drunk pretty much every night during COVID. Like that, because COVID started really around March of 2020. So like March, April, May, like when it was like at its peak, when it was at its peak paranoia, things shutting down, kind of like I was just like getting wasted. Like, because what else was there? What else are you gonna do? Like everything, like literally everything was closed. So what else are you going to do? And, man, what a strange time, you know? I remember my wife and I like driving around, like going to a mall, and it was just completely closed on like a Saturday afternoon. And we were just like, it was just so surreal. It was just so weird. It felt like, and I remember I did one of the first videos I did on my channel was, on my travel channel. It was like one of the very first videos I did. It's case sensitive. And I spelled it wrong. But one of the very first videos I did was when I went to Dulles Airport to see how empty it was. This video, which actually
today we are going
got like a fair number of views. But this was like on like a Saturday afternoon, and it was just a ghost town. This was what? This was recorded Did I put the recorded date? I don't think I put the recorded date.
Closer look.
April 18th, 2020 is when I uploaded it.
And nobody going through security.
Just completely empty.
I mean, what else do you have to do? So it does look like
And like, it was just such a weird time. And then, like, I remember the parking lot when I drove out.
here we are coming up on the drop-off zone where you drop people.
Not sure. You know what Dulles Airport normally looks like. This is what it looked like that day. This was like a Saturday afternoon.
Literally 2 cars.
Just crazy. It was just so crazy. I will say that, so when things started opening back up in like 2021, and like I started traveling pretty much right away, because when they shut everything down, I was like, shit, everything's shut down. And when they started opening back up, I was like, okay, I need to travel now while I still can, because I don't know for how long I'm going to have the health to travel. I don't know for how long I'm going to have the money to travel. And I don't know how long the world is going to exist like it does for me to travel. So I just started, when things started opening up, I started traveling. And in the beginning, it was a pain in the ass because you had to wear a mask, but it was so nice because everything was empty. It was like at the very beginning, like, because I went to Bolivia and I went to Colombia and Panama, and it's just walk right on through. Completely empty, just completely. Oh, it was so nice. But yeah, this is Dulles Airport. This is normally packed with cars. Like today, like when I go to the airport on Thursday, I'm sure it's going to be packed with cars. Amazon should make retail stores and put them in malls they destroyed. Amazon has retail stores. There's a couple of retail stores. I think I saw one when I went to, where did I go? When I went to Fiji, I think I saw an Amazon retail store in Dulles Airport. It's one of those ones, it's like a 7-Eleven, but you kind of just walk in and walk out. You don't have to scan anything. Like AI or like 15 people in India are basically looking at what you grab and they're charging you. Not sure says that's crazy. Yeah, it was crazy empty. Yash says, I will visit U.S. one day in my life. I understand what you mean. I will visit U.S. one in my life. You should visit the U.S. U.S. is definitely worth visiting. It's worth visiting. I think so. Don't let it scare you. You know, it get like you see the news and it's all like riots and like Trump rounding up people and sending the Gestapo. Like it's not like that. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's like any other country, right? Like any other country is going to have bad parts. Any other country is going to have its troubles in areas that you don't want to travel to. And literally, like in Los Angeles, there's like a 5-block radius that is where everything you see. The news makes it sound like the riots in Los Angeles, like that is the entire city. Like the entire map of Los Angeles is just on fire, is what the news makes it sound like. Whereas in fact, it's like it's confined to like a really small area. I don't know where. I don't know why I pulled up the map of Los Angeles, right? But it's making it sound like it's just this little, like if it makes it sound like it's this entire area. It's just under siege and just completely just like, it's pandemonium. It's pandemonium. But when in fact it's like it's just a small area, you know. So you got. This is what I wanted to do. It makes it sound. You probably have what you probably have is you probably had this little area like I don't know where it would be. I just wanted a reason to draw on the map, and I don't know why I can't draw right now. There we go. It's probably just like Compton, right? Like maybe it's like right here. It's just this one little area where you ignore the rest of the map. But no, that one little area gets all the news. We have amusement parks. Visit Florida. I guess. I'll tell you one thing I find super cringy, and you guys like. Let me know if you find this cringy or if you're one of these people. I find Disney adults to be super cringy. The only reason, the only excuse, the only acceptable reason for an adult to go to Disney is to take their child. But there is like a good friend of mine. He vacationed twice at Disney. He doesn't have kids. No kids. Him and his wife went on their honeymoon to Disney. No kids. And I've known several adults who just they go to Disney. Just like I feel like Disney adults are so cringy. I do not understand it. It is a plague. I'm going to send this out to Lisa. Send this out to my buddy David. I haven't heard from David. I don't know where he's at. Send this out to my buddy Justin. Send this out to my buddy Robbie. Is there anybody else I want to send this to? All right, no, there's nobody else I want to send this to. But yeah, no, Disney adults are just, Disney adults are super cringy. I do not understand it. I mean, it's hot. Like, that's the worst part. Like, Orlando's hot, but then you just go there for what? To stand in line to meet Mickey Mouse? Like, I don't understand. I do not. And Lisa, Lisa's a Disney adult, I think. Although she has kids, so I think, so maybe Lisa's not technically a Disney adult. No, Lisa, I was talking about how cringy I find Disney adults to be. Like, Disney adults they're super cringy. Like if I was a girl, like, I'm not even a girl, but Disney adults give me the ick. Like, they totally give me the ick. Actually, I take that back. Vegas is probably the best place to visit. Vegas is an amusement park for adults. I've never been to Vegas. I've never been. I was supposed to go to Black Hat last year, but I didn't go. So I've never been. I went to Disney with my ex. We didn't have kids. That's so cringy. Super cringy. Yash says, one thing that you hate about India and USA. Are you asking me what's one thing I hate about India? I don't hate anything about India. I hate, I'll tell you, I've talked about this on the show before, on this stream before, but I'll tell you one thing that I kind of did hate about India. So when I travel, there's certain types of videos I like to do. I like to go to grocery stores. I like to go to McDonald's. And there's just like certain things there's certain common things that I do on my travel channel. One of them is graveyards. Like, I find graveyards interesting. I also find graveyards kind of a good indicator of how, if a country takes good care of its graveyards, then it probably takes good care of its citizens. I was trying to say citizenry of its citizens. And so I went to India. And I found it really interesting that at least the graveyards in Bangalore. I don't know how it is in the rest of the country, but I found it really interesting that the graveyards and the cemeteries in India or in Bangalore, it was split into 3 sections: the Muslim section, the Hindu section, and the Christian section. I found that interesting, and so I go to this graveyard, this cemetery in Bangalore. And it's just littered with trash. There's just trash everywhere. It was like there was no. It was just so sad. It was like I was so disappointed. And it kind of broke my heart a little bit. Yeah, visiting a cemetery in Bangalore. It was just. It was a little heartbreaking because there was just litter everywhere. Lisa says, I've never been to Disney. Okay, well, that's fair. Then you're not technically a Disney adult, but would you go to Disney given the opportunity? Like, that's the question. I got to give this video a minute, I guess, to load. Lisa says, hey, what's up? Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Disney is fun if you like roller coasters. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. I'm not a Disney adult. Yash says, be real, man. I'm being real. Not sure says, doesn't India throw corpses into the Ganges? And Yash says, not all. Okay. I don't know why this video has low res right now. It's like it's not loading. I'm not sure what that's about. Let me see. Settings. Quality. But you can see, like, look at it. It's just, there's like plastic, there's trash. Yeah, it's just, it was so sad. I mean, I found it very sad. And like, the thing is like, India's, like, I've been to quote unquote poor countries. I've been to several. Obviously the one I have the most experience with is Bolivia, because my family's from there and like I have citizenship there and I spend a lot of time there. But I've been to others, right? Like, I've been in South Africa, Zimbabwe, where else did I go? What other? Botswana. But and none of them, although I didn't go to cemeteries in all of them, but but in Bolivia, I've been to a cemetery in Bolivia. I went to a cemetery in Cape Town. I went to a cemetery, not in Botswana, I think. I've been to cemeteries in Argentina. I've been to cemeteries in Chile. I've been to a cemetery in Fiji. Probably some other countries I'm forgetting. And like, these are poor countries that that their cemeteries were not, they didn't look destitute, right? And maybe it's just the cemetery that I chose. Maybe, and I'll put that out there. That is a fair point. That maybe this one particular cemetery in India is just, for whatever reason, it's just not a good cemetery to go to. It's just destitute. That's just that one cemetery. But it didn't feel that way. Lisa says it would be fun to go to Disney. I assume you're talking about Disney and not a cemetery. But I'm still not a Disney adult. Okay, well, Lisa, you're not a Disney adult, but if you go to Disney without your kids, then that will definitely, that's going to give me the ick. Like, that's total ick. Matthew, another friend of mine just proposed to his partner in Disneyland. Ugh. They accommodate it with a huge "she said yes" sign. I see them do that kind of thing often. I mean, that's kind of nice, but if you're going to Disney to propose, that's total ick. That's total ick territory. Like, ick. Ugh. It's so gross. It's so gross. Like, why do you go to Disney? Like, oh yeah, and like a good friend of mine, he went to Disney. The same friend I was talking about, and he's like posting pictures of himself with like he's a big Star Wars. He's my age, so of course, guys my age all love Star Wars. And he's posting pictures of himself with like Darth Vader, and I'm like, that's not the real Darth Vader, right? And just I just don't get it. Like oh, and then you post a picture of yourself with Snow White. Like, why? I don't understand it. Like, you spend all this money to go take a picture with somebody playing dress up. Why? Lisa says, Addie, you're the ick. I mean, I never said I wasn't. Not Sure says, it's the happiest place on earth, I guess. Lisa says, let people have fun. I'm not stopping anybody from going to Disney. You are free to go to Disney, and I am free to judge you. Yash says, ha ha ha. It's something Not Sure said. Yeah, it's the happiest place on earth. It is. It's total ick. I'm going to... I was thinking I should start a mobile stream, but no, I'm not. I'll leave that for Monday and Wednesday and Friday. Disney has fantastic staff. They're very nice and accommodating. I mean, that might be true. I'm not saying that like the staff is bad. I just don't understand the motivation of an adult to go to Disney without children. I went to Disney. I'm old. I've said that before. I'm old, so I went there when I was a kid. And I remember it kind of as a fond memory because I was like 5. And so that was like in the 1700s. But I was like 5 years old. My mom was pregnant with my sister. We went with, it was my mother, one of my aunts who was also pregnant. So it was my mom and my aunt. They were both like, they weren't like, I'm going to give birth any day, but they were both like, look at me. I'm obviously pregnant. That's how pregnant they were. And then it was my grandmother. So it was my grandmother and aunt, my mother and me. And I have some, and like, it was fun. Like and I don't have a lot of memories of it because it was so long ago and I was very young, but I have no desire to go back. I don't get it. Disney, I want to understand it, but it's like coffee. It just gives me the ick. And I want to understand how people enjoy it. I really want to understand how people enjoy it, but I don't. Anyway, we do have a game that we could work on. We do have that. I've been talking for an hour and a half. I wrote this ticket today because as I was kind of trying to feel my way around. That's the best way to explain it. I was trying to feel my way around because I think that the item code, the item code it doesn't need a refactor. It needs a slight refactor. But the item code kind of needs to be brought into the fold with the NPCs. And what I mean by that is that the NPCs are an entity, the items are an entity, and they need to be brought into a fold to be, to kind of come under that entity fold. And they're not. They're not under that fold. And then I was also thinking, like, this gets interesting because the way I see this working is, how can I explain this? So you have items, and the item itself defines how you pick it up, like what orientation it will be when you pick it up. The item itself defines its attack, right? And so I want the NPCs to be able to have the same, like if you have a callback, like I don't think a callback exists for this, but let's say you have a callback that you can attach something to when an item gets picked up, right? So that, like, I don't know, you pick something up and maybe an alarm goes, like whatever it is. But that code needs to be generic enough such that the callback will still get triggered whether it's the player picking it up or whether it's an NPC picking it up. And right now, and that's kind of what started us down this route. That's what's kind of started us getting to do this. Remember, we had this I has health, which the I has health is only there because I'm not ready to break all the old code yet, but we're gonna pull it out. Maybe that's what we'll do tonight. But we were kind of creating basically a base class, which I guess is what it is. But we were creating a base class that everything's going to kind of come under, right? That in order to pick an item up, it's going to be a game entity, but also the NPCs will be a game entity because like think about like also like health, right? Like an item can have health. Health probably isn't the best word, but but you know what I mean, right? Like if you shoot a box, you can shoot the box and then the box can explode, like the box can break open because you've shot it so much. But that's doing damage, reducing its health, and then the box quote unquote dying. So anyway, so I started thinking about, okay, well, with the item shit, one of the things we're kind of lacking, and one of the things I've been kind of like putting off because I kind of wanted to get some other code in place was an inventory system. And I think we're at a point now where we can start working on the inventory system. So I wrote this ticket, and this is going to kind of be our guiding light for this inventory system. And tell me if I'm missing something. Tell me. We'll go over this. So below is my attempt to break this feature down into separate units of functionality. And each one of these will probably be its own ticket, right? So pick up items directly stored to the inventory. Should be an and. Okay, well, first let's talk about the functionality we do have. So we can pick up items and equip them. We can do that already, right? We have the shortcut with the Q, and then we have the menu we have the menu option, right, to do that already. Pick an item up and you're holding it, and then you can swing and you can attack with it. We can drop the items in place, just drop them, and then you can kind of throw them. So dropping, you press Q again. If you're holding something, you drop it. It just drops right there at your feet. And then if you press the right mouse button, you kind of throw them. Now, throwing them doesn't do any damage, which is kind of another thing, which we should probably, I'm going to actually put that as a thing. Let me see. Wait, create. Okay, yes. Throwing items and hitting an NPC or another item should do damage. Right now, you can throw an equipped item and it will hit an NPC and do no damage. It would make sense for an item to do damage when it hits an NPC or another item. Okay, and then let's see, we're going to assign this to me. And then we're going to put a label on it as a enhancement. It is a feature. I don't understand. Like, maybe Matthew, have you ever used the GitHub projects? Like, I find them kind of confusing. I'm not sure. I feel like it's something that I should be using, but I never have. Okay, create. Okay, so we don't forget that. Oh, I kind of like this new sub issue. Okay, so okay. I kind of like it. Okay, so we can throw items. So that's kind of what we have in place already. We can pick an item up, we can drop it, we can throw it, and then of course we can actually, like with a gun, we can shoot the gun. With a knife, we can stab, and it's all defined by the item itself. Okay, here are the things we need to be able to do. Pick up an item and put it directly into your inventory. Easy enough, right? Pick it up, because we have the menu option already. The menu option just doesn't do anything when you select it. Drop items directly from your inventory. Maybe. Like, I'm trying to think of how like other games handle that. Like, if you drag something out of your inventory, I guess you could drag something out of your inventory and then onto the ground, and then you just kind of drop it. Matthew says, tried, lost interest. It can generate a timeline of personal projects. I'm not going to stick to that. Yeah, it's kind of trying to be Jira. It's like its attempt to like have like a board, like a BOARD, not BORED, to have like a it's like its attempt to do like it is GitHub's attempt at agile, and like I don't know, but I found it like kind of confusing, and like I wasn't really happy about it. So I never kind of relations. What is it? Oh, okay. So that's pretty interesting. You can create relationships between tickets. Can I open this ticket as its own thing? Okay, good. I can. And then it has the parent. Okay, that's fairly nice. My wife has been sick. I mentioned a while back that she's been sick, and I've been trying to politely distance myself from her because I do not want to get sick. She's been coughing, and I was afraid she had COVID. And so we had some old COVID tests, and I was like, well, these are expired. So just because they say you don't have COVID doesn't. Basically, my thinking was like, if it says you have COVID, then you probably have COVID. If it says you don't have COVID, you still might have COVID. So these tests, like one expired in 2022 and two others expired in 2023. So she took one and it was negative, but we're like, But now I hear her on the treadmill. So, okay, whatever. Move an item from equipped to inventory. So basically an item that you're holding, put it back in your inventory. And then basically an item that's in your inventory, put it in your hands, right? Limit the number of items in the inventory. Obviously, we don't want to have the player be able to carry everything in forever. And I was thinking about this. Okay, well, you could kind of do this, but you could do this a couple of ways, right? Like the limit could be, and I mentioned it here, it could be by the number of things, like you can only carry 10 things, right? But you could also do it by you could add some type of property to the item itself, like its size, for example. So you can only carry, depending on the size, you can only carry 1 or 2 big things, but you can carry 5 to 10 small things, that kind of thing. You could do it by size, you could do it by weight. That might be getting a little too into the weeds, but maybe we can talk more about that when we get there. And then obviously we need something to be able to view the inventory. And then this is the thing I was kind of talking about is we're going to need methods also to manage an NPC's inventory. So view the NPC's inventory, add an item to it, and it's basically all the same things, but basically for an NPC. So that's what we got to work on. I got to take another bathroom break. Let me actually change because the be right back message still says 10:45. Let me change that. Be right. No, not knee right back. No, be right back. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right. Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah, I had to check on my wife. She says that she wanted to sweat to get it out, to get the cold out, which makes sense. When I was going through chemo, I remember sweating. Oh, sweating was so good. The chemo I was on was really weird. Maybe this is something common with chemos. I really don't know. But when you were on the chemo, or a day or two, even a couple of days after the chemo, they would be like, avoid cold things. Just don't drink cold drinks. Don't touch cold things. And you would touch it. Like whenever you would touch something that was cold, it was kind of like hitting your elbow. It was like the same, it was like this nerve sense, it was the weirdest. It was so weird. But when you would sweat, like when I would go on a run and sweat it out, I always thought that it was like I was sweating out the chemo so that I could touch and drink cold things again. It's very bizarre time. Matthew says, yeah, so the inventory itself can be generic. Right. Okay. So what we need then is we need an inventory. An inventory can literally be, it can literally just be a list of, so I added this item entity class, but for some reason it feels a little wrong. I don't know why, but it does. But I think that's just me being, I don't know. Let's see. Heal, take damage. I mean, like, you could have the item entity with, like, instead of health, it could be condition, right? Let's see, serialized field. Oh, but that's right, because I was trying to think of, like, okay, so how is the item entity going to be related to the item data? Because the item data is the scriptable object. I gotta think about this. So item data is a scriptable object. Because the item entity, should the item data have an item entity, or should the item entity have, I feel like the item entity should have the item data. I feel like they should be one and the same. But that, and this is kind of like where, like, I'm like, well, multiple inheritance, right? Like you would kind of have item entity just be a game entity and an item data. It would be multiple inheritance. But of course, C# does not allow that, and it does not allow that for very good reasons. And you run into issues with multiple inheritance. So C# restricts multiple inheritance to kind of, you can only use it with interfaces. So wait a minute, does this make sense? Let me see. Well, first of all, okay, where is item data going to be used? We have item interactions. The item interaction, this script is attached to an item in the game world to allow the player, it really should be to allow entities to interact with it. To allow entities to interact with it. So this interactable interface here, that allows it to have the menu. The interactable, I'm saying this because I'm trying to remember it myself. I'm trying to make sure that I have a grasp on everything that's going on. So the interactable interface, that is what allows you to have the text pop up when you hover your mouse over it, and then allows it to have this interaction screen, which is right here. Okay. And then the item interaction. This script is attached to an item. So and this is a mono behavior. Maybe it makes sense to have item entity attached to an item also. Or should item entity be item interaction? And see, this is another thing that this pattern is going to have to change. So right here on line 29, oh, you know what? I forgot to do the share thingy. So let me do the share thingy if you guys are interested. Let's see. How do I do the share thingy? Live share, share read only. I'll put the link in the chat in case you guys want to join. But this equipped item script, this here is problematic because this was kind of hacky. What it did was when we start up the equipped item script, it's basically a reference to a script attached to the player that allows the player to pick things up. Yeah, that's what this does. So really, the equipped item script should be on every entity. I feel almost like game entity. There should be game entity, then there should be NPC entity and item entity. And they both, NPC and item entities, derive from game entity. I think that's kind of where we're headed. But I also feel like I'm kind of reinventing the wheel. Okay, so base NPC is already, I already made that a game entity. Okay, before I do anything, let's get rid of I has health. Let's try to minimize the complications in our life. So let's get rid of I has health. Where is I has health still used? And let's try to get rid of those. Let's try to get rid of it completely. It's still used in a few places. I thought I... Oh, okay. That's just... Okay, let's just look for it. Okay. Target object does not implement game entity interface. Okay. Let me make sure I'm gonna... Okay, attack state 6. Okay, good. So that was health bar. What do we have here? And then I renamed some files. I renamed NPC state to entity.cs, so we'll stage select it. Okay. And then what else do we have? Okay, private I has health. So the debug, I'm not too concerned with the debug input manager. You've just made me realize my game also needs a generic inventory for anything that isn't the player. Ugh. Yeah. Right? And the inventory should be... The inventory should be generic enough to do things like if you add something to it, it should do a check to make sure you have room. And then it needs to be generic enough to, because certain players might be able to carry more things than other players. Things like that. It's something actually I need to write down. Not write down. How old am I? Let me see. Limit the number of items in the inventory. The limit of items. The limit of items in entity. I'm going to put in entity can carry. Should vary. Some players can carry more than others. Okay. Why need more than one inventory? You don't. You need one inventory. Basically, you need one you need one inventory class. Right? One inventory. Yeah, we'll just stick with class, right? One inventory implementation. But the player has an inventory. Green guy will have his own inventory. The bad guys will have their own inventory, right? So that's what we're talking about. But they'll all share the functionality. The functionality will just be copied around, essentially. But each NPC and player character, each character will have its own inventory. The limit of items an entity can carry should vary. Or can carry, not should vary, can vary. That's easy. Just make inventory a scriptable object. No, it's not going to be a scriptable object. It would be like a class. The items themselves will be scriptable objects. But the container for those, which is the inventory, will be some class with some functionality. We'll figure it out. It's nothing too complicated. Right now, I think what I'm struggling with is organization. This is all organizational stuff, or another word for that is architecture. It's like overall architecture is a little bit of like what I'm trying to get my head around. Okay, so this would be... So would allow you to control the inventory, a number of items. No. I don't think you would do the inventory itself as a scriptable object. Because scriptable objects are good for, or at least in my mind, right? Like where we're using them and where I intend to use them more is with the items, right? So if this will compile, or at least let me click. Come on. You can do it, Unity. You can do it. Come on, Unity. You can do it. Okay. So here, like we have a book, we have a flashlight, we have a phone, we have a pistol, and we have a rusty knife, right? Now, it's not as though each one of them has its own scriptable object. Well, wait, actually they do. What am I saying? But they all come from a item scriptable object, right? This is an item data. What happened to my music? Okay. So they all have this item data scriptable object class. So you could kind of think of it as, not think of it, it's exactly what it is pretty much, where item data is a class, and then each individual scriptable object is an instantiation of that class. It's a different instantiation. The inventory, so what that allows you to do is that allows you to genericize data, right? Whereas with the inventory system, you want to genericize functionality, not so much the data. So what I will probably end up doing is literally having a class called inventory, and this class inventory will be attached to every thing that can have an inventory. The player character, the NPCs, and that's probably about it, really. Like, I can't see anything else having inventories. And then, so think about it as like a very generic implementation, or like a very elementary implementation right now. Class inventory, right? And then you would basically just have a list of, maybe if we do go the item entity route, but this is where I'm getting a little stuck. Like, I don't know if it'd be a list of item entity. I think it should be, but it would literally just be this, right? And then you just pull things. I don't know. I'm getting sidetracked. What was I doing? Oh, I was doing this. I was trying to replace all the instances of I has health with game entity. So this is the NPC shooter script, which I think can be ripped out altogether. I'm going to leave that one alone right now. Entity here. This is the, okay. So that's the, let's comment that out. Whoops. And then this is the last instance. On trigger entered. I don't know what this was. It's on trigger enter is never referenced. We're getting a compilation error. Oh. Eye has health could not be found. Okay, so this is shoot. Okay, so this is the NPC shooter script. Like I just said, I think this can be ripped out. Come on, boys. Guys, I'm starving. I might go downstairs and make a sandwich. Okay, so this is running. I mean, it's compiling. Let's see, just kind of do a generic test to make sure everything. And also, one of the things I started adding also is a test matrix. Like, I feel like that's something that is being horribly neglected. But let's see. Okay, I can still damage you. They still die. That's a funny bug. All right, so you. Oh God, I'm gonna shoot him. Okay, wait, no, I gotta drop the gun. Now I can interact with them because if I press the primary mouse button in the menu, it still shoots. So okay. All right. He's going to die. And then that guy should go back. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to commit this. I'm going to stage it, though. We should make the kid a one-shot kill. Yeah. We could reduce his health. We could reduce it. And then I was thinking like, well, shit. Like again, it all at some point you have to kind of stop yourself, because I started thinking, I was like, well, wait a minute. How could we have headshots? Like I was trying to think of like, how could we implement a headshot? And I'm like, well, you could have two different colliders, and then each collider could define the amount of like. I'm like, no. We do not need headshots. Not yet. Like, no, just stop. Just stop. Like, maybe let's get models. Like, let's get actual models. Like, right? Like, let's get actual, like, you know, human models in there. I will say I am getting kind of emotionally attached to Green Guy. Like, I'm like, oh, he's so cute. But, like, no, just stop. When we use real characters, they have separate areas for head and torso. Yeah, like I can see how you would do it, right? You would basically have multiple colliders. This is how I would do it with my limited knowledge. You would have multiple colliders. Those are all attached to the same NPC. And then each collider would basically have something on it that denotes how much damage it does to the NPC. Like if this collider gets hit, this is how much damage is done. If this collider gets hit, this is how much damage is done. Like that's kind of how that's kind of how I would do it. I would think that maybe there's a better way to do it. I don't know, but that's kind of how I would do it. Okay, let's rip out this NPC. Oh, we died. How did we die? Maybe the guy noticed us and came over and started shooting us. So like this NPC spawner, this NPC spawn points, I think all of that can go. This NPC spawner, NPC spawn points. And then with that NPC shooter script, that can go. This NPC spawner script, that can go as well. Yes. Then there's a prefab, which I think we can get rid of too. Oh. Okay, so I got a compilation error. Okay, yeah. This was like a hacky way to like kind of bring the personality system into things, because what this was doing is I added a callback so that every time one of the guys shot a gun, that the green guy would get a little more nervous, essentially. And so that's why I'm getting this compilation error. But we can get rid of that. I feel like I'm going to puke. I'm feeling like nauseous, but like nauseous, like I need to eat in order to not feel nauseous. You know what I mean? You ever feel like that? Like that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm going to have to make myself a sandwich in a second. Yeah, you can see here this was the personality stuff we were adding. So we added a relationship of the. This was cheating. This was cheating. So the relationships, I feel like the relationships, we were using a map or a dictionary, as they call it in C#. But we were using a map, dictionary, hash map, whatever you want to call it. We were using the game object as the key. But I feel like we should have a game entity. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, we wouldn't have any like real unique identifier. Yeah, that wouldn't work. We wouldn't be able to do a game entity. We wouldn't be able to do a game entity because two separate game entities can have the same stats, but they're not the same thing. Right? Do you see what I mean? So if I look at this class, in order to put but it's abstract. I would have to have some. This is how what I'm about to say is true for C++. I assume it's true for C#. In order to use this as the key for a map, it would have to have some type of comparison operator. The comparison operator would need to be able to. It's going to need to be able to distinguish unique things from one another. I see no unique way to do that unless the game entity had some type of tie back to the game object to which it was attached, which is probably why I went with game object in this map. So but it really feels like game entity. You know what? Maybe game entity should contain game object. I mean, it would just be a reference back to it. And then game entity's comparison operator could use game object. Can you do comparison surely you can. Let me see. Add a comparison operator. Okay, so it's very similar to C++. Just defining how... Yeah, just defining basically how you compare if two things are the same thing or not. Okay. Uh-oh, you might be getting sick. You bite your tongue. No, I'm not getting sick. I think I haven't eaten a lot today. I'm going to go make myself a sandwich. No. Last weekend, I bought some ham, and it was on sale. Because it was like, it was like the old ham. And my wife was like, well, you got to eat that. You got to eat that in the next couple of days. And I was like, yeah, I'll eat it. And then I ate some of it, but I didn't eat all of it. And then yesterday, I asked my wife, I'm like, because, men, or at least this man, I feel like this is it is the function of a woman to tell you if food is bad. So I give the ham to my wife and I'm like, can you smell this? Can you tell me if it's good? And she smells, she's like, yeah, it's still good. And that was last night. And then this afternoon, I had yet another ham sandwich. I'm wondering if maybe my wife's sense of smell was a little off. That might be it. I'm gonna go make. I was gonna and I was thinking like I still have some ham left. I'm gonna go make myself another ham sandwich. No, I'm gonna go make myself some peanut butter toast. That's what I'm gonna make myself. That will make my tummy feel better. Eat a bunch of probiotics. What is it with you and the probiotics? Not sure. You're Mr. Probiotic. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to make myself some peanut butter toast. All right, boys? I'll be right back. All right, boys. I was trying to so when I go down to the kitchen, we have a home gym, and I walk past the home gym on the way to the kitchen, and my wife's on the treadmill still, and she's wearing Lululemons. Now I'm not sure if you fellas are familiar with Lululemons, but they're very flattering for a lot of women, for most women. They're very, I mean, obviously the woman has to have something to work with already, but Lululemons are very flattering. And so she's wearing Lululemons and she's on the treadmill, and I'm like, and my wife's, her first language is Thai. English is her second language. So I look at her, I'm like, honey, your thighs look good. And she's like, what? I'm like, your thighs, like, you look good. And she's like, what? I'm like, your legs. And she's like, oh, I thought you were talking about chicken. Like, no. Trying to compliment my wife, and she thinks I'm talking about chicken. All right. And then I was thinking while I was making this, I was like, are you guys... I'm going to set a poll, even though it's a small crowd today. I'm going to start a poll. Peanut butter. I want to know what you guys think about peanut butter. Creamy? Really? How do I ban somebody? I gotta figure that out. Can we get a third option for allergic? No, you gotta choose. If you're going to commit suicide by peanut butter, what's it going to be? Creamy or crunchy? How can you go with creamy? Creamy? Really? Nah. This extra crunchy. I don't get just the crunchy peanut butter. I get the extra crunchy. And actually, you bring up something, Matthew, that makes a really good point. So, reminded me of something. So, I don't know if you guys have seen the most recent Final Destination movie. I'm going to give away a bit of a spoiler. Crunch is like they didn't blend it enough. No, crunch is crunchy till I die. That's how I feel. No, but the bit of the spoiler of in Final Destination is, so one of the theories, one of the in movie theories about death. So the movies are basically about people who cheat at death, and then death, like this incarnate, or this like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not polymorph. When something that's not alive, like anthropomorphized entity of death comes back to haunt the people who escape death, and death comes back to kill them. And so one of the rules of death basically is like, if you can, one of the ways to get death to not come after you anymore is to take a life, or for you yourself to die but come back, right? Because there's, we've all heard stories of people who were like technically dead, their heart stopped and they were technically dead, and they were able to revive them. So that's another thing. So there's a part in the movie where they're trying to like figure out how they can get out of it. And there's this guy who's allergic to peanut butter. And it's kind of like a reoccurring theme in the movie. And so and it's his turn to die. And so what they say is like, okay, it's like him and his brother. And the brother's like, okay, what we'll do is I'll have the EpiPen or whatever. I think it's an EpiPen. I'll have the EpiPen ready. And then I'll have the heart, the clear, the thing, but the thing. But I'll have that all ready. So eat some peanut butter, and then I'm going to let you technically die, and then we'll bring you back. Okay. And so they kind of go through with this plan. But the thing that really kind of pissed me off about it didn't piss me off, but it was like, if I was going to nerd out about it, I'd be like, well, I really hope somebody lost their job over that mistake. What they do is they get him some Reese's peanut butter cups. And he's like, here, eat this. And the guy takes a bite and he's like, oh my God, that's delicious. And he's like, right? He's like, oh, I've been missing out on this entire time. But here's the thing. Everybody, and Matthew, if you're allergic to peanut butter, please confirm this. But the two people I have known that were like allergic to peanut butter said that whenever they've like accidentally like even slightly tasted it, that it just tasted like poison. That it was just a horrible, it just tasted like poison. That it did not have a good taste or a good flavor by any means. And that's something that I thought that I was like, oh, the writer is really screwed up on that one, because the guy who's like deadly allergic to peanut butter takes a bite of the peanut butter and he's like, oh my God, it's so delicious. I can't believe I can't eat that. So I'm just curious, Matthew, if you're allergic, or let's also ask the interwebs. Let's see what Grok says. Okay. Oh, I was creating some new pictures for myself with ninjas. Okay. Hey, does peanut butter, or what does peanut butter taste like to people who are allergic to it? Matthew says some kind of, my lips immediately tingle and I get a horrible taste in my mouth. Yeah. So Grok, I'm going to try and stop. I don't want to chew and talk. So Grok says that since taste experiences are the same all around, that peanut butter would taste the same. I think Grok is wrong on this one. And it says it probably tastes the same, like creamy, nutty, slightly sweet and savory. Where Matthew kind of confirms what I thought, my lips immediately tingle and I get a horrible taste in my mouth. Let's see what ChatGPT thinks. Let me bring up ChatGPT off screen. I was trying to come up with a new image for my YouTube channel. Let me see. Yeah, see, I was trying to make. What I basically said. I said, here's a picture of me. Create a photorealistic picture of me coding on a plane while people are jumping out and make it look like I'm saving the world by writing code. And then I said, no, I'm too fat. Make me thinner. And I was like, whoa, wait. I'm too thin. Give me a little more hair. And then I was like, okay, I'm too thin. Give me some. No, I tried to make it more realistic. Okay, let's ask this question. Okay, what does peanut butter taste like? Not sure. It says some girl accidentally ate peanut butter cup chips. Okay. Accidentally ate peanut butter cup Chips Ahoy cookies and died. Oof. Matthew says it can taste the same on first bite, but then the reaction kicks in and it's horrible. Huh. So maybe, okay, ChatGPT kind of says the same thing. People with peanut allergies do not necessarily experience a different taste of peanut butter. The issue isn't with the flavor perception, but with the body. Well, obviously, I wasn't asking. Oh my God. Because my one buddy, Tom Nick, definitely said that it just tasted like poison. He said it tastes like poison. Because my friend Gabe and I, we were talking about how delicious peanut butter is and how we really love peanut butter. But my stomach feels better. It does. Eating feels better. Not Sure is laughing. Are you laughing? I think Not Sure is laughing at my pictures of me coding and saving the world. And then I had some others with oh, did I already lose that? With Grok too. So I did change. If you go to Addy Goes Live, I did change it. I did change this. You can see I'm like in a war zone. Hi, honey. I mean, that kind of looks like me. Yeah, but I'm. You can see I'm like coding and saving the world. So, you feel better? Reese's peanut butter cups use smooth peanut butter, not crunchy. Case closed. Let me ask you. Is the chocolate that they're encased in that has a crunch? Absolutely. On the edges, it has a crunch. Now, I'll grant you that Reese's peanut butter cups are delicious. I do love them. They are delicious. But they could be even more delicious with crunchy peanut butter. Oh, crunchy peanut butter is so good. I remember my wife and I got into a little argument a while back because she ate all my peanut butter and she didn't replace it. I was like, oh, come on. Like, because I wanted to go get some peanut butter toast and the peanut butter was gone. And I was like, oh, God damn it, And she replaced the peanut butter with creamy peanut butter. And I was like, this is by no means, this will not work. This marriage will not work if you are buying creamy peanut butter. Like, it's just not going to work. And well, I have crunchy peanut butter. Supposedly, the new Mr. Beast version is better. The new, wait. Does he got peanut butter or a candy? I tried Mr. Beast's chocolate a while back. Was not impressed. It actually looks pretty good, Not Sure. I mean, it does look good. Don't get me wrong. Like, if these were handed to me, I'm eating them. Like, I'm not going to say no. I mean, I know by looking at me, it looks like I, take very good care of myself and I eat right and exercise regularly. Looking at me, I look like I am top physical condition, but I do enjoy chocolate. I heard they have a new recipe for the chocolate bars. Mr. Beast's chocolate bars recipe. Let's check it out. Sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to finish my my crunchy peanut butter toast. The first Mr. Beast bar was literally the first chocolate bar I had an actual damn, this is good as fuck reaction to. That was not my reaction. That was not my reaction. There is this. No, I will tell you what I had a reaction to. Oh my God. There is this. Oh my God, I gotta find it. Oh my God, I might have lost it forever. I know how I can find it. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I got to go back to, let's see, is it this one? This right here. Yes, this candy, this chocolate bar, this chocolate, which I found in Chile, and they have there's the milk chocolate, but then they also have the milk chocolate with the peanut butter with nuts, so that it's actually crunchy. Oh, to die for, Sanenus. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sanenus. I don't know what that is. And I literally looked into like, how can I get these things? How can I get them here in the United States? And it's like nearly impossible. But they do have them in Bolivia. Last time I was in Bolivia, they had them in Bolivia. Let me see. Oh, so good. Now you just got me looking at peanut butter. eBay? Oh, it's so tempting. But of course, the thing, I'm leaving on Thursday, but this is good to know. This is good for future reference. I didn't even think about eBay. Oh my God. We should do some whiteboarding. What do you mean by whiteboarding? I'll say this. My one weakness is magic shell topping. I can drink it straight. It's like crack. I don't even know what that is. Magic shell topping? What do you mean? This? I'm almost done. I'm almost done with my peanut butter, so that's why I'm really quiet. Is this what you're talking about? It's ice cream topping that gets hard when it gets cold. That's the exact opposite of what happens to me. Reminds me of chocolate milk. My buddy David, the one who always calls me when I stream, he's a big fan of a Yoo-hoo. What is, it's not. I'm like, oh, you're just a child drinking chocolate milk. And he's like, it's not chocolate milk. It's a chocolate drink. It's not a chocolate milk. It's a chocolate drink. Big difference there. Is it Yoo-hoo? Yeah, Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo is disgusting. It is disgusting. It's so, but you know, even so. You probably, I mean, obviously not sure. You grew up in the United States, so you went to school. I don't know where you grew up, if you grew up in the D.C. area. But what I remember going to school 1,000 years ago, and you would go at lunch. You would go to lunch, and you had two choices for milk. You had the chocolate milk and the white milk. I was literally more times than not, I was the only kid that got white milk. I could not stand. I even to this day, I cannot stand chocolate milk. I did not like chocolate milk back then. I do not like chocolate. I do not like chocolate milk now. I do not. It's. I don't like it. I just never liked it. I could not get into chocolate milk. Literally, and I remember there being a refrigerator, and it had like columns of milk, and it might have 6 columns, and one of them was white milk. All the others were chocolate milk, and I was like, nope, white milk for me. White milk for me. White is right. Wait. Do not clip that out. Do not clip that out. You who's discussing it tastes like cancer. Now, I grew up in New York and then Virginia. Same. I always drink regular milk. Yeah, no, I always drank regular milk. I can't drink milk anymore these days. Now, if I'm doing anything with milk, it's almond milk. Or, well, it's not really almond milk because the almond does not have a tit and it doesn't have a nipple, so it's really almond juice. But we'll call it almond milk. But I like almond milk. Virginia had plastic bags for milk. What? No. So I went to school in Maryland, and we had little cartons. But I will say that, like, in other countries, especially in South America, they sell milk in bags, which sounds weird, but it makes sense, actually, because you can fit more containers. Because the bags are malleable, right? Like they can kind of go different shapes. So you can actually fit more containers on a truck or something like that. So it makes sense. Whereas like a gallon of milk, it's all oddly shaped. Think about how much empty space, like if you have like a stack of like 6 gallons of milk, think about how much empty space is being wasted by all the handle and the, all of that. But if you have a bag, it's all malleable. Like there's like no wasted space. And, so yes, like in Bolivia, you go to like you go to the milk section, it's all bags of milk. Just like it's all bags of milk. Which at first I thought was really weird, like a bag of milk, but no, it makes complete sense. All right. What were we doing? Okay, we were trying to get rid of the I Has Health. And then we were trying to get rid of dead code. That was the other thing. All right, so I think we have successfully gotten rid. I wish I could remember where what the purpose of this was. I'm not going to delete it. Well, other. What is other? No, on trigger entered. But on trigger entered is not called anywhere. Is that the name of? Is that some built-in callback? I wonder if this was something. Okay, well, okay. Collider, other, on trigger, enter, item data equals null, item data, target, collisions, this game object root. I'm just doing a bunch of checks, returning already hit. Okay, I do remember the purpose of already hit. Oh, you know what? This might be used for like the knife stabbing, which is something we have not tested in a while. Let's actually test the knife stabbing, which means I need to go find the knife. Is there a tool to delete dead code? No. Well, not that I know of. And dead code is I was going to say it's a problem. It can be a problem. It can be a problem when you have like unit tests that are failing and then you spend time trying to fix a unit test that is testing dead code. Like that kind of thing, that can be bad. I think there's a knife over here. These guys are going to see me. Keep looking away. Keep looking away. Wait, where'd that knife go? Oh, where did the knife go? Okay, there's one on top of the building. okay. That's the one I was looking for. Where's this one? That one's on the side of the building. Where am I? Okay, let's go over here. The guy on patrol is probably going to kill a green guy, but that's okay. Okay, there's one over here. Where did it go? Oh, wait. No. No. Oh, no, wait. No. Oh, wait. Shit. Don't see me. Wasn't there one right there? Where did it go? I'm right by it, apparently. Oh. Yeah, God forbid I'm able to put something on the ground. God forbid I'm actually able to put something on the ground. I don't know why this is invisible. I'm making this like the biggest knife ever, and it's not there. Oh, it's deactivated. Duh. Okay, yeah. Things that are not enabled will not work. Oh. Okay. And the best part is, I can pick it up. Whoa. Jesus Christ. Okay. Whoa. Dude. No, dude. No homo. Get out of here. No. Come on. I don't want any beef with you. Why is it not? Huh. Oh, shit. They didn't see me, did they? Okay, let me... That's a big knife. Okay, let's now that I know where it's at, let's change its let's scale it down a little bit. Okay. Okay, that's much easier. Yeah. So okay. So on trigger entered, that's used for the knife interactions, or for the knife to do damage. Used for collision detection when swinging the item. This will hit any collider. Okay, no. I'm not going to add that. When swinging an item. Okay. I'll see if the hot reload works. Nah. Okay, we'll just start over. NPCshooter.cs delete. Yes. Is there a tool to delete dead code? We are talking. It's next to the bench. I saw it. Perfect. Reddit. Is the link you posted? Is that safe for work? Safe? Is that safe for stream? Okay. Yes, it is safe. It is safe for stream. But I swear, when this loaded up, I'm like, what did he send me? Because it did not look like... But at first glance, it looked like... I don't want to know what weird picture Not Sure just sent me. But it's safe. So this was the bagged milk you had? No, we had small cartons of milk. All right, what is this? Okay, this makes sense. This should be game entity. See, here's another thing. If I do change this, all these game entities are going to have to change, but that's all right. Okay, I has health. We'll just change this to entity. Oh, right. I remember now because we had untriggered enter. Then we have untriggered leave. When does already hit get cleared on end attack? Huh. Interesting. Okay. What's game entity? Well, we're still trying to figure that out. No, but game entity is the old. Game entity is what I has health was kind of, and we're going to change it. Here's that. I'll talk about game entity in a second. I just want to see if this works. Yep. All right. Perfect. What happened? Oh shit. Oh yeah, you want to fuck with me? You want to fuck with me? Huh? Huh, bitch? Huh, bitch? Huh? Huh? Oh shit. I'm clicking off screen. Okay, yeah, you want to mess with me? Yeah, take that. Take that. Take that. No, don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'm cheating. There we go. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I'll that's right. Yeah. Take that, you little biatch. I'm gonna piss on your grave. This is me piss. We need a pee function. This is me peeing on your grave. Okay, what is game entity? So game entity. We're still trying to figure out how game entity fits into everything. Okay, let me look. No, I'm still distracted. Okay, we deleted this stuff. Removed I has health. Okay. Game entity. Let's talk about game entity. So we had I has health. What I has health was an interface that we attached to certain scripts that were therefore attached to NPCs and to the player character. So let's get my favorite drawing tool. And I'll draw a picture. So we had, I'm 600%. Okay. So we have NPCs, right? And then we have the player, which we'll draw as red. And both of these things, all of these things have health, and we needed a way for to do damage to them. Like if an NPC shoots another NPC, because we've seen that where the bad guy shoots green guy, and then they can kill green guy. But then of course the bad guys can shoot the player as well. So there's an infinite number of ways you could do that. But the way I did it is we had this I has health. I has health. All right. And this was an interface. And now the NPCs, they each had their own, they had like an NPC script, essentially, right? Each one, the NPCs were a prefab. So, and one of these is green guy. Right, so his script was a little different, but they all derived from. I'm going to put a G for green guy. They all derived from base NPC, right? That's the base class for all of the NPCs. That's for green guy and that's for the enemies. Now, before we had game entity, we had mono behavior and we had I has health. And what that allowed you to do is this I has health interface. This implemented a simple. Oh, my daughter's calling. Let me take this because remember I was talking about this. Let me take this call.
I can make a surprise. I can make a surprise. As the sun begins to rise, flames are flowers for words and time. Chemistry spark flies. I can make a surprise. I can make a surprise.
Okay. All right. My daughter has secured a spot in the will by calling on Father's Day. So that's taken care of. There should be no more phone calls. I have called my father, and my daughter has called her father, so we're good. We're good now. Okay. What is a game entity? So it was basic. The long story short, it was basically an abstract. It wasn't a class, but it's basically like an abstract class that allowed us to do health stuff in a generic way. So, okay. And then, so this is the player over here. Okay. Easy. And then the player had a script. Now, the thing about all these scripts is they all implemented an I has health interface. They all implemented it. So what does that mean? Why would you do that? Like, what advantage does that do? So that allows you to do things like if this guy, if he shoots something and that collider, what you can do is you can say, okay, it collided with something. Now, when you collide, that thing that you collided with, give me the I has health interface. This is all in code we're talking about. In code, return to me the I has health interface. Right? So like if this guy shot this guy, right? So it says, okay, we have a successful collision. Give me the I has health interface of this guy. And then once you have the interface, call the function take damage on that interface. And then that function take damage is being called on green guy. And then that's how the green guy loses health, right? And it's the same thing with the player, right? So this guy shoots the player, right? He shoots the player, and then the collision, you say, okay, the collider call, you basically do a get component call. It was literally a get component, or like, actually, let's look at it. Let's look at it. So if we go to pistol, well, it's not going to be a pistol interface. It's going to be in the attack state. So right here, right? So this was I has health. So basically what this is doing is this when you call shoot, it's doing a ray cast in a certain direction at a certain range. And then basically it's saying, okay, if you hit something that you get into this portion, if you've hit something, now when you've hit that thing, give me the I has interface of that thing on the collider, right? Call the get component. And then when you get it, call take damage. And so this is how you apply the damage of the gunshot to the thing you've shot. So what I basically did was, for now, I renamed I has health to game entity, because in this design, all the I has health offered us was health functionality. Take damage, heal, give me the current health, give me the max health. That's it. Like that's it. But we need more functionality. We like when I'm trying to think of an example. Well, what kind of what brought us to this? Okay, well, that's a little. It was the item. It was the items and knowing what the items are attached to that brought us to this. But think about, like, if you were to tell green guy to follow this NPC. I don't know why you would do that, but say green guy, follow that guy over there. The I has health isn't going to help us there. But what we would need in that case is we would need at least a transform, right? We would need at least or ideally we would need a game object or something like that. So instead of I has health, I'm naming it to game entity. I renamed it to game entity. It right now, game entity serves the exact same purpose as I has health. And the idea is that we're going to add more. But I am trying to understand the architecture as a whole and understand exactly how I want to proceed further. And I'm not sure. Because I kind of want kind of want to do this. I kind of want to do player class. No, public class, not player entity. Yeah. Or character entity. Character entity. Like, that's fine. And then I want to kind of do... So this character entity here, that could represent the player or an NPC, right? Because NPC is non-player character, and then, of course, player character is player character. We should add fall damage. Yes, we should. We should. And fall damage would be pretty easy to add, I think. It would have to be added twice. It would have to be added for NPCs, and it would have to be added for the player character, too. I remember asking AI how to do fall damage, and basically it suggested that in the update method, if you basically look if it is grounded. How did it do it? I think what you do is you save away the you calculate. You either calculate or save away the velocity, the vertical velocity. And you save away whether or not it's grounded, because there's like an ungrounded Boolean. And if the prior state grounded was false and now it is true, you look at the velocity, you look at the vertical velocity and calculate damage based on that. And that could all be done. Probably for the player, it could be done in player stats. It could be done here in player stats. For NPCs, it could be done in base NPC class. It's the base NPC. Raspberry says, "Shit, I missed the iHash diagram. The iHash." Yes, you did. You missed that. You missed it. I was talking about iHash health. I was explaining how I'm going to refactor everything in the game to be a singleton scriptable object. Like, everything in the game will be a single scriptable object. And not even a singleton scriptable object. A single scriptable object. There will be no variables. There will only be one variable. And it will be a scriptable object. That's what it's going to be. That's how we're going to do this game. I think I'm gonna call. Now that Razman's here, now that Razman is here, the stream is complete. It's like the stream is complete. I can call it a night. I'm about ready to call it a night. I've been streaming for 3 hours. I'm gonna take my dog on a walk. Look at that cute guy. Can you see that cute guy? Look at him. He's like, what? You want to go on a walk? No, come here. I know it is too high. You want to go on a walk? You want to go on a walk? You want to go on a walk? Tell everybody you want to go on a walk. Say, I want to go on a walk. My dad has to end the stream. I want to go on a walk. Yeah, we didn't do a lot of coding this stream. I got to think about this. This is tricky because... Because, again, we have the item data. So the item data is going to be related to the item entity somehow. But is the item entity going to be in the item data? Or is the item data going to be the item entity? The item data... But... And this is... See, I think where I went wrong was here. This item interaction is... This really should be like the item entity script. And maybe that's what I need to think about. Like, maybe item interaction should be... This should be game entity instead of mono behavior, because game entity is a mono behavior. It's just a mono behavior with health. And items, remember we discussed items can have health, right? So maybe that's what we need to do. This item interaction, maybe instead of item interaction, maybe we've had the item entity all along. And actually, the more I think about that, the more that actually does make sense. That is the item entity. And then we got to figure this out. Because this was a hack that I did, this equipped item script. So what this was when this do interaction got called, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that opens up another can of worms. Okay, let me finish that thought and explain where I'm coming from. So when this do interaction was called, I was thinking like, okay, well, it's just going to be the player that's doing that, right? It's only going to be the player that interacts with an item. So, and I need a reference to the player object so that I can tell the player object, hey, pick me up, right? Because this is the item. And so I need a way to tell the player, hey, pick me up. And so what I did is I just did this. I basically just was like, okay, find the singleton player object, more or less. Find the one player object in the game and store away a reference to it. And now I know how to interact. Or now I know what to tell to pick me up. You see what I mean? I think I need to rethink this though, because we do want to have NPCs be able to interact with items. Now, the NPCs, they're obviously not going to be open up a menu, right? So that kind of tells me that this interact function, some version of this interact function should be like attached to the player, not necessarily to the item as it is now. This is tricky. And this is where inexperience with Unity really comes to play, because this is kind of what I am facing right now. This feels like something that if I was a seasoned game programmer, a seasoned Unity programmer specifically, but probably a seasoned game programmer in general, this would have been like a design decision that I would have made a month ago. When I started writing this code for these interactions with the items, this would have been something that I should have been able to foresee and be able to kind of adapt my code. And now I'm suffering from inexperience, and basically what we have is poor design, or at least poor design with the direction I want to take the design, because not all games are going to have NPCs interacting with items in the game world. But I want this, but in this game, I do want it to. I want NPCs, and I want, like I said, like in the requirements we have, like I want where did it go? I want players to be able to tell an NPC like, hey, go pick up that item, right? Tell an NPC to equip I want the player to be able to tell green guy, like, go pick up that knife, go find a gun or something. Like we'll figure out exactly, but I can see a need for an NPC, or even like the enemy NPCs. Like if you have an NPC on patrol, like the guy that we have just kind of patrolling around the map, he should be smart enough that if he sees a gun on the ground, he picks it up, like that kind of thing. Again, we might be getting a little too... I need to be careful also of not over-engineering, but over-designing. Like, do I really need a guy on patrol to pick up guns? I say yes, I think we do. But then part of me is like, no, we don't. We should also be chatting with the NPC. We should also work on chatting with the NPCs. So that was like a whole thing I went down like with AI a while back. Like, that's actually something that's not that hard to do, where you can say, like, with AI, you just create a model, and then like it was pretty neat how it worked. Like you just define like you would say like pickup command, and like in your JSON, it was all done in like a JSON file, right? So you'd have something like I don't know, I'm making this up, but it was like command type, and then like pickup command, I don't even remember how it was, but you define basically the categories of commands, and then you define an action to those. In the category, so your basic, like a pickup command would be a category, a run command might be another category. So what would happen is when you type something like "go pick up that knife," what's going to happen is the AI is going to associate this command. This is a real language command. It's going to associate that with this predefined pickup command, and then you could even define like an argument that comes with it. So the AI, so basically the AI library would have a callback that's like pickup command argument knife, and like it would even things like, "Hey, you, go get that knife," and like it's going to the AI is going to still associate that with pickup command argument knife. So it was pretty cool, and like it wasn't that hard to do. So I mean, I would like, but we got to be careful. We can't put everything into this game. I mean, we can. I don't know. But at some point you have to decide. At some point you have to say no. And I feel like a couple of things, like I'm starting to say no. Like having the guy patrolling the map and pick up a gun, that might seem like overkill. But it wouldn't be that hard to do. That's the problem, right? All I have to do is change the do scan command. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's a few things to change. Like I could do that right now. It wouldn't be that difficult to do. Like we have the scan command. So the scan command, all you got to do is just change that to detect items, and certain items the NPC picks up. But we don't have. But that would be where this item interaction comes into play. Where like we got to. Okay, that's what we need to do. We need to start thinking about item interaction as item entity, and so that kind of. I got to think about this. I'm going to have to sleep on this, because if we put item in, I want to put drone into the game. Don't you fucking say that, because I thought I had the same fucking thought. I had the same goddamn thought. No more, like, because when I take this dog on a walk, I'm sorry, boy, we'll go in a minute. When I take him on a walk, I found this old cheap drone. I found a cheap drone, and I set it on top of like one of those electrical thingies, like one that you see, and it's been there for weeks. And then yesterday, the day before, I walked past it, and I saw like I was like, you know what? I could have a drone in the game. I had the same fucking thought, but then I immediately was like, nope, stop it. No. It's like I'm talking to my dog. No, we don't need a drone in the game. Just get that thought out of your mind. But we might have cell phones. So just stop it. Just stop. I'm going to go. Razman's already left. I'm heading out of here. I got to take this little shit on a walk. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7:00. No, stop it. We're not doing drones. Fuck you, not sure. Fuck you. All right, no drones. All right. Talk to you tomorrow, guys. Bye.